My name's Dominic Littlewood and I'm here to take on your consumer battles. I want to make sure you're getting the best deal instead of a raw deal. She's probably going, ouch, that hurts. Whether your gripe is with a big company or a small one, I'm here to make sure your voice is heard. And I think we could probably put this matter to bed. Whether it's getting your money back.
In my book, right's right and wrong's wrong, right? And they're wrong at the moment.
Or taking on your contract conundrums.
The fact we paid all this money for these windows and we are absolute rubbish.
Whatever the issue, I'm here to help. Today, I visit a family whose new built home came with a garden that was more like a swimming pool.
We thought we were covered legally. Obviously, they don't think so. They don't care. We've got your money. Bye.
What happened when one man wanted to get away from his holiday getaway?
I started receiving letters and statements saying that I owed $15,000, which is far, far more than was due.
And I'm going to address one of your biggest complaints to me, used cars. I'm taking on your consumer problems to make sure you don't get done. A brand spanking new home. Fresh out of the box, just got its wrapper off, built by a major property developer with all the guarantees in place. Sounds like most people's dream, doesn't it? But sadly, some people's dreams have turned sour. Houses, we all aspire to own them, but so much can go wrong. Many people buy their dream home as a new build, sometimes straight off plan. The paint is fresh, the garden's smelling of roses. Paradise, you might think, but not always, as Andy Cape in Lancashire found out when he bought a house off plan from Barratt Homes in October 2012. I'm actually surprised this one has even reached me. You see, Andy bought a brand spanking new house 2 years ago, and apparently the garden has been waterlogged ever since, and so bad he's told me I'm going to need some wellies. Now, that sort of problem should be easy to fix, especially when you think he bought it from a major UK house builder. So why has he been fighting the case for 2 years? Let's find out. Andy,
Hey, Dom. Good to meet you.
And good to meet you too. Am I going to need them?
Absolutely. Come
All
on
right.
in. This is within 3 metres of the house, and look at it, it's just absolutely waterlogged.
It's a joke.
And you can see, obviously, it's running onto the bit of patio that we've got, and, you know, it's just totally impractical.
It's
We
all
can't do
round,
anything
isn't
with it.
Everywhere you go. Right, so presumably, you know, I mean, there's a bit of a slope here to go on, but okay, you can see it's going all the way up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, this is ridiculous, Andy. Andy blames the slope in his garden for the waterlogging. He believes the difference between the top and bottom of it measures 18 centimetres. But Barratt are adamant that his garden is virtually level. Andy believes the water is coming down from higher up the estate and not draining away. So instead of a rolling lush lawn, his garden is one big mud bath.
This is the source of the water. This is the source of the problem, because basically it's not draining from their land. It may be going through the grass and through the soil, but whatever the land underneath that, it just doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't absorb the water. So basically it's staying on the surface and it's just flooding through, and as you can see, it's a river. You know, it's ridiculous. You know.
Yeah, I mean, everywhere you go, it's
unusable, and this would take months to dry out.
Almost 80% of new build homes like Andy's come with a 10-year insurance warranty issued by the NHBC, the National House Building Council, or a similar organisation. New Barratt homes also come with a separate 5-year fixtures and fittings warranty.
Well, the positive things were obviously having the 5-year warranty with Barratt's, nothing to worry about, no maintenance for the first few years. Obviously it's a new house, there should be nothing to do to it, so that's what we're looking forward to.
Even more frustrating for Andy, despite coughing up £230,000 for his dream home, Barratt is refusing to fix the problem.
We thought Barratt's would say, yeah, we admit there's a problem there, we'll put it right. But they haven't done. They've fought us all the way against it. It's tainted the house, really. It's took the shine off it.
Since moving in over 2 years ago, Andy and his wife Georgina haven't even been able to put up a swing for baby son Josh.
He's now walking, and he also wants to start running around and playing football in the garden. But at this time, you know, it's not going to be possible because it's too wet. We had a very dry summer. We managed to use it for a few weeks, but as soon as it started raining again, then it was actually waterlogged again. A year and 3/4 now. This has been ongoing for. It's been very, very frustrating. We just obviously just want to get it resolved. We're just totally fed up with it.
In April 2013, Andy took his complaint to the NHBC. The only problem was their inspector arrived in May after a particularly dry period. What have the NHBC said about this?
The NHBC inspector came out. They basically said, oh yeah, it's firm, and because there was no evidence of pooling on that day, he actually said, no, sorry, they've met the technical requirements. And basically, the last time I sent photographs in, the reply I got from the NHBC was they didn't think it was abnormal for me to have pooling within 3 metres of the garden.
How can they say that?
Because as they said, it was abnormal weather conditions.
Yeah, but this is not abnormal. I mean, OK, it's very lightly raining at the moment, but no garden should be like that.
No, I know.
That's like a big fob off, isn't it? God, I'm surprised.
Very disappointed.
Gosh, so would I be.
Tried to get a second visit then, through photographic evidence that I sent in to show the waterlogging. And basically I got a reply off the NHBC then to say that we'd had normal weather and it was quite normal to have this.
And it's not just your garden, is it? Your neighbours have had problems as well, haven't
Absolutely, yeah. The people behind us, he's had problems. The guy here, Mike, he's actually put his own land drainage in.
Why has the neighbour on this side had to put his own drainage in?
Because Barrett's refused to do it. They will only follow the NHBC technical spec. The technical spec from the NHBC, which I didn't know before we bought the property, is basically for foundations, and it only makes a builder responsible for the first 3 metres of land to any boundary wall of the house.
Either corners have been cut or somebody hasn't done their job properly, because there should be drainage somewhere, as you say, at the source, above there, stop it all happening. I can't work out how a company like Barrett's could possibly say this isn't our problem. And even if the water wasn't as close as 3 metres to your house, which it is, that's not acceptable, full stop.
No, it's not. We can't use the garden. The garden's physically impossible to use.
Right now, tell me what you think of Barrett.
Very disappointed. We thought we were covered legally. Obviously, they don't think so. They don't care. We've got your money. Bye. Not bothered.
I knew Andy's garden was going to be wet before I got here because he sent pictures in and described it to me. But I've got to be honest, I am really shocked at how bad it is, and even more disappointed that Barrett's haven't sorted it out after 2 years of requests. What is going on? Let's see if I can get any further. I've emailed Barrett to say I'm on the case, and they've asked me to speak to their PR company. It's Dominic Littlewood calling from the BBC. We're making a hi there. The person at the PR company doesn't want us to broadcast his voice. Andy's getting quite concerned about the waterlogging, and as we know, winter's approaching, so I think if we need to be getting something done, it's sooner rather than later. I'd like to know what you guys are going to be doing to try and resolve this. You've had this case for 2 weeks now. That's when I first contacted you. So although I've not heard back from Alex, it has been on his desk for a while now. Thanks very much, Nigel. I'll call back next week. Bye-bye. He said we're not ready to give you any answers because we've spoken to Barrett and we're waiting for their answer. Now, the big problem with this sort of scenario is I need to speak to Barrett's, not ideally a PR company who are a middleman, because I'm not really getting to speak to anybody who's accountable. Across the UK, there are around 250,000 static caravans set in holiday parks in beautiful countryside locations. Simon Cadwell thought one particular park in Southminster in Essex looked like heaven, and he bought the first of his plots in 2007.
It's the tranquility, the very nice part of the world. I was really attracted to it because, unlike a lot of caravan parks, it was possible to buy the freehold land. It meant that it was more of an investment rather than just sort of coming here to rent it for holidays, something for the future.
After purchase, Simon had an annual maintenance charge to pay to the resort management company.
The costs were for the road maintenance, supply of water, taking away the normal domestic rubbish, also use of the clubhouse, and also there's some security. We've got a barrier at the front of the park that you get in and out with a key fob.
Maintenance fees are common on all holiday park sites like this, but these charges are subject to change, and this can take plot owners like Simon by surprise.
A common problem for caravan owners, whether you own the pitch or not, is the escalation of pitch fees and maintenance costs in general. A problem that we see time and time again is pitch fees going up, maintenance charges going up, and the compound effect that has over a period of time.
And on Simon's resort, some unhappy campers stopped paying maintenance altogether.
So quite a few of the private freeholders decided that they wanted to make a polite protest. Effectively, we asked Park Resorts to not increase the bill anymore. We just wanted a very basic service.
The fact that the people at Waterside actually own the pitch freehold does give them a greater position in terms of the ability to stand firm. This does give them benefit over a lot of our customers who don't actually own the plot and can often be threatened with removal from the park or the pitch.
The plot owners became even more unhappy when some facilities on the resort suddenly closed.
The toilets and showers in the communal block, it was closed off to us, which was very inconvenient. The council fortunately came and intervened and told the park management to open them back up.
Park Resorts Limited told us, from time to time these facilities are closed for maintenance, and at that time they insist that alternative facilities were made available. Simon had by now sold his first plot and bought a second one in the park, but in autumn 2012 he felt it was no longer the haven he wanted.
As we got approaching to the end of being here for 5 years, the piece that we'd come here for, it just wasn't here anymore. It was just too much hassle. So we decided that it was time to sell.
So Simon sold up and wrote to Park Resorts to ask to settle the account. When Simon went to pay his final maintenance bill, which he thought would be around the £2,000 mark, he was in for a huge shock.
I started receiving letters and statements saying that I owed £15,000, which was far, far more than was due.
The bill seemed to be for both the plots he had owned, but Simon was sure there must be a mistake and didn't pay up.
I received letters from the solicitors saying that if I didn't pay this £15,000, they were going to take court action. I responded to that in writing by recorded delivery, saying that they had to check the period of ownership because it was all being wrongly claimed. If they had have done this, they would have realised that what I said was correct. They would have arranged for a final bill and I would have paid it.
Park Resorts say they had based their calculations on the plot ownership information they had at the time, including land registry documentation for the two plots. This was just the start of a long and protracted dialogue between Simon and Park Resorts.
I've got 2 boxes about that tall. It's just letters after letters after letters.
Currently there's no specific formal legislative protection for caravan owners. The case with the freeholders and Park Resorts is a complex one. We've been involved at different stages throughout the process, offering advice where we could. It's quite a unique situation and one that we don't come across very, very often, and that brings with it its own difficulties and issues in the provision of advice.
Park Resorts told us the invoices Mr. Cadwell received were initially incorrect, as he had bought and sold one of his plots without informing them. As soon as the correct ownership information was provided, the correct sums were claimed. Whatever the source of the confusion, Simon was still facing a big bill and says he wasn't alone.
A lot of people were very, very worried. Some people paid up straight away because they couldn't handle the prospect of getting a county court judgment or even just going to court.
A year after selling his plot, in September 2013, Simon received court papers regarding the £15,000 debt.
Then I started to get very worried and started to get stressed, much like the other 62 defendants in this case. I knew I didn't owe the money. I'd written to the court and told them. I was very angry, I was depressed, I was sad, I was having sleepless nights. It was just tremendously stressful.